Press the magic button.
Hi everyone, it's Sally Estlin from Magic Mike Moments, and today I'm sitting down to have a lovely, beautiful chat with Julie Wood, who's a Superconscious coach, and she's up in Queensland. So Julie, welcome to Magic Mike. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. So I'm really excited to be here and share my stuff.
Your magic, baby. Share your magic. So let me just read a few lines about you, because you've just got a wealth of everything and you've done so much study. You are a successful coach, a business owner, a public speaker, and a writer. You hold qualifications in nursing, occupational health, nutrition medicine, NLP, hypnosis, biofeedback, aromatherapy, magnetic mind coaching, and of course, activator healer coach, which is where I met you. You've always been a healer and you work in the quantum field with the superconscious and beyond. You're passionate and dedicated to ensuring your clients excel in their lives. You believe in a partnership with your clients that's a collaboration, taking action and building on one's strengths and experiences to create a life that is fun, I like that, flexible, energizing, contributory, and financially rewarding. So you come from a place that empowers your clients, ensuring they come from a place of power. You say, you aren't broken, you don't need fixing. We're all unique and amazing individuals just waiting to be the best, most magnificent version of ourselves that we can be. So welcome, Julie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So you've had quite a varied career and lots of experiences have shaped you to who you are today. Do you want to share a little bit about your journey and how you've ended up now being the healer, the magnificent super conscious creator that you are?
And when you list all those things, no wonder my mum used to say to me, why can't you just do one thing?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's like from nursing to healing, like it's, what a journey. And, share a little bit about
I've always been a healer. I mean, even from as a child, I was healer. I used to heal animals and do all sorts of stuff. And of course, so nursing was the perfect thing for me, because what else are you going to do? You can't do anything else,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't be a secretary. I couldn't be confined into all that stuff. But I injured my back nursing, and so I was actually off for 6 months. I was 3 months in hospital, 3 months having to learn to walk again.
Whoa, that's hard.
And so fortunately, my mum was more holistic, I guess, in those days. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so I had treatment that was different to other people. So paw injections into the spine to break down the areas that were bulging discs and all that stuff. And so hospital nursing was never for me. So I did occupational health, I did cardiothoracic intensive care, I did all those different things, midwifery, and then I found occupational health, and I just loved it, because I was really into preventative medicine.
And when was this? Was this 80s, 90s?
70s,
70s. See, that you were way ahead of the curve.
I'm old.
You're not old.
Really old. But yeah,
Yeah.
this was in the late 70s and
Right.
early 80s.
Right.
And so that took me really on a journey to, I mean, I was always different and I didn't really fit in. And so to work and do things. So then I did occupational health. I was I was the second nurse to have a tertiary qualification in occupational health, and I set up programs for multinational companies. And so I sort of did all that. And then my husband had an accident in 1989 where he got severe brain damage and physical injuries. And that allowed me to step more into doing the healing work. And that was what I said, that gave me that possibility. And so that's really allowed me to step into my role, into what I was here for, to do that. And so it's sort of been a growth from there. And doing all the different programs that I've done was like finding pieces of myself. It was reconnecting back to me. Things that I knew that I didn't know, that I knew, and having to relearn. It was that remembering.
Yeah.
And my brother actually said to me the other day, well, why do you do all this? Why are you doing that? And I said, because it's reclaiming those parts. And unless we listen to who we are, we never do it. And we end up, some frustrated old person who's angry with the world.
Yeah. Oh, we see those a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Because they've never done what they wanted. And
Yep.
my mum was a prime example of that. She became very frustrated with life because she never got to do what it is that she wanted.
Mm.
And I think it's a real lesson to learn. And because as we get older, we realize that, and then we think it's too late. But it's never too late.
It's never too late. Absolutely. And this is the most perfect time to be alive. It really is, in this massive quantum shift that we're going in. And we're doing a 360 on the old, a shift from how our parents grew up and how they were brought up by their parents. And now I see it in my kids, completely different approach to life, a different way of thinking. I think, thank goodness. Absolutely. But, your story, I mean, getting back into that, in what you were doing in the late 70s, 80s, like, was way ahead of the curve. And I got into natural therapies in the 90s. And even then it was still, a lot of the stuff was woo-woo. Like, all I wanted to do was study homeopathy, but that was too woo-woo. So I had to do naturopathy with the homeopathy, so that naturopathy was sort of semi at the time being accepted. Like, physios were just okay, but chiropractors were no. Reiki, oh my God, don't even go there.
So funny when you think about it, isn't it? Because now it's like, well, I'm off to have Reiki, or I'm off to see my kinesiologist, and like, like,
Oh, a
wow.
healer, right? I've been having a healer like forever, and that used to be woo woo, and now it's sort of like an essential part of most
Yeah.
successful leaders have some sort of spiritual support, shall we say, or they have rituals or whatever. Like, even everybody that's successful has a morning ritual. Like,
Yeah.
that's become the norm now. So talk to me about becoming a super conscious creator. I mean, actually, what do you reckon your superpower is, what your magic is, why people are drawn to you? What's the essence of you?
What I was just talking about that with somebody, and they just said that what I do is I create magic, and I just make shifts for people, and I do it in a really gentle way, not a hard way.
Love that. It's the gentle approach, right? And this is very much, this new energy is very nurturing. It's very supportive.
Yeah.
It's very, well, it's more of the divine feminine, right, than the divine masculine.
And it's that combined approach of divine masculine and feminine, and knowing when to be what.
Exactly.
And having that balance and knowing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I've had clients and I've had to say to them, look, I don't think you're ready to do this yet.
Yeah.
You need to go off and just learn to love yourself more, and then come back and do this work, because this work is so deep that we're going right to core issues. And if you can't cope with me saying, well, this is what I can see, and you get all upset or angry about it, and which of course we're going to, because we've hit the nail on the head, and we've said to them, this is what potentially is stopping you from being successful. So of course you're going to get upset and you're going to go away. But sometimes unless we're willing to do the work, and unless we're willing to take the action steps, nothing's going to change. And when you're working in the field, with the superconscious, you're working with all that is. You're working in that space where all information is available. So, of course, you're going to, if you know how to do it, you're going to pick up what information is relevant for that person. And it's not being a psyche. It's not
reading energy, right?
Akashic records, or it's not reading what's going on. It's actually working with higher realms, with those energies that are sitting, and sometimes it's like being in the mass consciousness of the planet. This is your pinpoint. This is the area that's just specific for you, and you can change it. You don't have to stay stuck.
I love it.
In that area. You can choose what it is that you want, but in choosing that, you've got to realize that there's things you have to step into a new identity, and that new identity is very different. Sometimes you're still going to be you, but the way you react, the way you think is going to be different.
Yeah, it's like giving yourself a makeover, right? But
Yeah, it
you
is.
have to be ready to take ownership and be responsible and do the work. It's not a band-aid effect. This stuff is deep, it's real, and it brings up core issues. I mean, at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, the deepest core issues for everybody is stepping into unconditional self-love and self-worth. But that's to get down to working on that level, there's so many other layers. And it's a beautiful journey when you go down it, because it's that metamorphosis, right? You come out as a butterfly, but you've got to get down and dirty and in the mud first of all, and
Oh,
face stuff. I mean, when I started, I was vomiting. It was like, oh my god, because I take ownership, right? You can't deflect this and do all this other stuff, pushing it onto other people. You've got to own this shit, baby.
yeah. And of course, I come from a place where you're always responsible for everything that you do.
Mm-hmm.
But I've changed that. I don't think we are. I think the programming that we have and the societal programming is also affecting us. And that makes, that's a different slant. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault, because that's a program that's been running on this planet for thousands of years. It's that whole patriarchal, you got to listen to me and do what I tell you stuff. And as a child, obviously, or as a parent, we always want our kids to do that, because we're trying to give them boundaries so that they know what their boundaries are and they can push against those boundaries and learn where they sit with all that. And that's what makes them amazing human beings, because they know where they sit. And as long as we do that in a beautiful, loving, supportive way and honour them and their choices and support them, then they're going to become these amazing beings. But I think that, personally for me, doing this sort of work all these years, I got to a point, and, like, as I said, my husband has a brain injury. I got to a point where I thought, no, life's over. Nothing's going to change. So I gave myself cancer just so I could leave. And of course, then I had triple negative breast cancer and told I had 3 months, and because I refused treatment. Of course you do, as you do.
Oh man,
Being a rebel.
Yeah.
And conventional treatment anyway. So that was a real wake-up call for me, and got me to think, okay, well, I'm here to do all this work because I work with amazing people who are here to do big missions.
Yep.
And they keep ringing me up saying I need to work on them. And so, okay. So, I had time to work on myself, have other therapies, and I got rid of it. And because my oncologist said I'm going to outlive him, and he said I'm a miracle. And I just say, well, I'm just here to make you happy and give you a laugh, So just so that you know that things can be different, because coming from a different place, when you know that you come from somewhere where you can instantly heal, you can't understand why you can't do it.
Yep.
And then when we start to really go into, okay, when we start to work super consciously, we can do it. And when the Christopher Duncan is the guy who developed Magnetic Mind, he's one of my clients. He was referred to me, and that's how I got into it, because he said, I'm just starting this program that I've developed, which is a combination of Dispenza, William White Cloud, Colette Stryker,
Yep.
Fritz. He put it together in one package, and it's a simple system for people to follow. And I thought, so I became a coach, and I haven't looked back. It's just completely changed my life. And of course, then there's the Ibuka healing, which synergistically fits in with that as well.
Yep.
So you're taking people on this journey of empowerment and for them to learn how to do it for themselves. And I think when we start to do that, and being the little rebel that you want to be,
Yeah.
that you're challenging the norm.
Yep.
And you want to challenge the norm and you want to have fun. Because if you take life seriously, I mean, my husband had a serious accident and he requires care, and and then so I got sick, broke my leg twice, tore all the ligaments in the shoulder, did all that stuff in a 5-year period. My dad died. I had to look after my mum, and she just passed last year. So you have all this shit happening to you.
Yep.
All this stuff shifting and changing. If you took it seriously, you'd be a wreck.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I take my hat off to you. You're such an inspiration. And it's, you chose not to be a Debbie Downer, but to be a Pollyanna. But it's just the new way is about stepping in and smelling the roses and understanding what's important in life. And life we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. So fun is important. We're supposed to be happy and healthy and abundant on all the levels, and stepping into that and getting out of our head about what we should be doing or what are the proper ways or what are the rules and regulations. There are no rules or regulations. It's the feeling and the vibing and going with what feels right and going within yourself. Like, when I think I said before, it's an inside job, but it's tapping in to yourself and connecting with yourself. And both of us are activator healer coaches, and it's about getting into our resonant field, which is the combination and the lining up of our frequency, our vibration, and our energy. I like to equate it to our own personal radio station, right? You've got your own radio channel and you're tuning into that. It's your happy place, right? And when you're in that, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just vibing this, and you turn the dial right up and people go, hey, what's that station that you're playing? Because I really like that music. They go, let's get more of that. And how good does it feel to be in that zone? Like,
oh, it's great. And you've got to treat life like a game.
Yeah.
Although, like when you look at all the trauma, and we see clients, I'm sure you do as well, who've had great trauma in their lives, massive trauma.
Yeah.
And to help them shift out of that and still have the trauma, the memory of the trauma, but not the emotion of it.
Yeah.
To be able to just go, well, yes, that happened to me. That's a story from the past.
Yeah.
I'm living here now.
It's not defining you now, right?
Yeah, totally. And I see that all the time with clients that, suddenly all the weight of that trauma that they've been carrying is gone. And they just go, yeah, that happened to me, but that's the past. You can't change the past, but I can certainly create the future that I want.
So go on.
And what we do is we presend what it is that we want into the future, but there's no future, is there? That's all time is now. There's no
Correct.
Time and space. And so our present moment is already present.
Yeah.
Because we've chosen it and we're just stepping into it.
And once you get your head around it, it's just like that. Once you go, the light bulb, then you go, this is what it's about, being a super conscious creator. And it's working with your energies, right? And this is all proven physics. It's all there. You're just working with that. And you just got to get out of your head and let go, right? Just really let go and feel into it. I mean, you've had such a lived experience, and it must be the week for me talking to inspirational people. I've done a few interviews this week, and yesterday I interviewed a lady, and she'd had 2 bouts of cancer and, massive wake-up calls. But the same thing, she's not allowing it to define her. It's just a fact, right? But it's made the person who she is today. And if she continued on with her life at the time, it was just the body screaming at you for a wake-up call. So
absolutely. And I never said it was a battle. All I said was it was a dysregulation in my body.
That's it, positioning with the words and your thoughts. Oh, Julie, you're so inspirational, and you've been doing this. You, as I said, you're ahead of the curve. So, we've kind of touched on it, but what do you think is the biggest issue facing your clients? Like the biggest one when they come to you?
Really is loving themselves.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue people have is they have no confidence. So we have, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve. I don't belong. I don't know enough. I'm not perfect. There's 9 different basic
Yeah.
beliefs that we have that stop us. And when you boil it down to, it's all about being loved.
Yeah.
It's all about when we start to really love ourselves and we stop trying to fix ourselves,
Mm.
and we choose what it is that's in our heart, that our heart wants. And I know it's not easy. It's a real journey to do that.
It is a journey.
But when we start to do that and go, okay, this is what I choose. I choose to live the life that I love.
Mm.
The life that I love looks like this.
Mm.
And then, of course, all our stuff, resistances and memories and emotions and behaviors and family shit is all going to try and stop us because it's a new experience.
Mm.
And when people have never had that experience of joy or happiness or unconditional love,
Breaks my heart. Yeah.
they go, well, I don't know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And then you give them some experiences of, well, maybe what could it feel like? And they start to feel that, then it shifts their whole perspective.
Mm.
And when they stop trying to fix themselves, and I had a client the other day and I made him stop doing all of his spiritual work. I said, you've got to stop it for 4 days.
Ooh.
Because I did a process on him and I said, well, you can't do anything. And he was someone that did 3 hours a day of spiritual work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, I said to him, I realize it's going to be hard, but this is really important that we need to do this, and explained to him why. At the end of the 4 days, he said it was the best time he's had for years. And it made him realize how much he was trying to fix himself and get ascended
Yeah.
by doing all this work, and he didn't need to do it.
It's about being more, right? Just being more, not doing more, being
it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it was like this huge aha moment for him,
Yeah.
where he realized that he'd been trying to fix. He'd been trying, and I've had a few clients like that who are totally into the ascension processes. And I say, what makes you think you're not already ascended?
Yeah. 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 Just
Right?
tap into it. Like that's what you said in your bio, where was it? You don't need fixing, you're not broken, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, so powerful. So what would be your top 3 tips to help people that are stuck,
Well, I think, again, it's choosing it.
Yep.
Choose what it is that you want. And as I said, I know how difficult that can be,
Yeah.
because all, family, everything. And then you start to be it. So
Yeah.
start to think about, what is it that someone who's already achieved what I've chosen, how would they act?
Mm.
What would they say? What would they think? And start to think and act like that. And then before you know it, you are it. I am it. I am living the life that I love. I am in this amazing relationship. I am in this successful business. And when you start to do that, things like, one client, the only way she thought she was going to have what she wanted, which was this amazing photography business, was if she did it herself. And out of the blue, because she put it out there that was a choice, and she was doing the photography, out of the blue came a thing from National Geographic to employ her.
Well,
Right?
this is what I love about being a superconscious creator. It's
Yeah.
the magic. It's the magic.
And so
That's
it's
amazing.
like she didn't push it or try it or anything. She just thought, this is what I want. This is what my choice is. And then it just happened, and she got this amazing job that was her dream job. And she was really well paid for it. She traveled the world. She did photography. And, when you think about that, she just created it.
Just so powerful. Which reminds me, you've created an app. Do you want to share to all of us?
Yes, I've created an app. It's called Conscious Creators. And I can show you my little app.
Perfect. Conscious creators. You are just unstoppable. You've got to put some books out, baby. You've got to be an influencer on Instagram.
My girlfriend said to me, when my husband had his accident, oh, we need to write a book. And I said, well, you write it, because I was living it. And so you were observing it. So you write the book.
Well, with ChatGPT and all that sort of stuff, you can get it done in 5 seconds now.
Oh, yeah. So this is,
Are you ready to fall in love with life again? Wow. And look at the beautiful picture on the front. So this is the Creators app.
That is a free little course. It doesn't take much. But in my little app, I have all these different programs, which is abundance, a joy of you, which is journaling to find you. It's a lovely little program. And then I have Wake Up and Live, and Wake Up and Live is about wanting to change, acting on that change, getting the knowledge and the know-how, and empowering yourself because you've got unlimited potential.
Yeah.
And that's a group program that I run. And every week we have a live class. And there's meditations. This is my live class. And we have a virtual vault where I keep all the recordings from every week. And then we have question and answer. So it's pretty neat. It's all encompassing. So there's communication in there. There's monitoring yourself, how much meditation you're doing, how much drinking water you're doing,
Awesome.
So it's all there in one place, because I wanted something people could carry around on their phone so that they could do it anywhere. So it didn't matter whether, what country they're in or what time zone, that they could just have something that they could do and learn and shift and change.
Yeah.
And there's downloads in there. Obviously there's a I'll say a journal where there's weekly stuff, monthly stuff, and vision for life, and what their choices are, because we have 4 core things that we all want. One is to be the powerful creator of our life, and co-create with others. One is to live the life that we love and all that entails. One is to live our true nature and purpose. And our true nature is to recognize that we're a spiritual, creative being on this planet. And our nature is to be creators and create. And the other one is health and vitality. So they're our basic areas of life that we all want. And then you can break them down into sub. I have it like an umbrella. And so then we have sub choices. And the sub choices are, whatever, relationships, fitness, health. So you can start to break it down into all the different areas again, and start to work through and take all that information. But you have to have the discipline, and you have to have what's the word? You want to be doing it every day.
Yeah. Consistent, right? And
and gratitude.
And I think that's super important for any real change, and also to have accountability. And this makes you accountable, right? But you've got the support there, and it's a fantastic tool and technique to help you create these positive changes into your life and become the superconscious creator, because it doesn't happen overnight. It's simple, small steps. So it's consistently staying and chipping away at it, and it's shifting and lifting your energy, your vibration, your everything. And it's you stepping more powerfully into your own self, into your own power, because it's about empowering yourself from the inside out, right? And working on yourself.
And
I love it.
And we do have to take aligned action. You can't, which is, my going back to I could always see the end result, but I never saw the steps. So I never right. So it's about taking the aligned action steps. It's about connecting with our superconscious, about, connecting with all that and saying, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step that I need to do without being anal about it? You know how sometimes we get really anal. Oh, I have to do this, A, B, C, and D.
And to get back into that masculine energy again. And it's like,
And so we have to do that just sometimes we need masculine energy, sometimes we need feminine, sometimes it's about not doing anything.
Yeah.
And
Like
just
with that
allowing
client
stuff.
that you had who did
Yeah,
nothing, right, for
yeah.
4 days. And then that reset. And then it was a wake-up moment. Yeah, but when you're doing the steps, you've got the momentum going, you've got energy in motion. It's yeah, fabulous.
And you can check up on yourself. So
Mm.
if you've written down, well, this is the steps that are for this week, you know, like if I'm doing a webinar, well, it's obviously got to prepare the stuff and do all that stuff, you know, to get it all ready, make sure that you're advertising it, make sure people have registered, sending emails. So there's obvious steps that we always have to do. And it's keeping ourselves accountable and
Mm.
checking that we've done all those, ticking all the boxes.
Yep, yep. Oh, absolutely. And as I keep referring to in this quantum shift thing, it's all about connecting with people, collaborating, finding your tribe, right? And of like-minded people. And this app's going to bring that together, and your weekly groups that you've got with the wake up in your group programs. You're finding your tribe there so that you're not isolated, you're not on your own, you don't feel like you're the black sheep. You've found your frequency family, and it's just so soul rewarding, isn't it? It just makes you just
Totally, I love
on
it.
the inside.
I love being in the field. It's like, yes, I
So
can do
do
this.
I. It's like, I remember when I was doing Joe Dispenza, just doing the meditations, they said it's like having sex with your brain, right? It's just like, and it takes you into this amazing magical space. It's like so good. So good.
Yes, I love it. And I think I could stay there all day. But the trouble is nothing gets done around the house.
I know, but you just have to be, Dave. That's right. So I have this little mantra: let go of whatever drama, limiting beliefs, whatever it is. Step up and be more of you. So over your journey, what have you found that you've really let go of? Where have you stepped up, and where have you been more of you? We have sort of got more about the be more part, but anyway, what
Yeah.
do you
So
think is the biggest thing that you sort of
the
let?
biggest thing that I did was when my husband had his accident, I just had to let go of trying to do everything right.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I had all these amazing people come and help us. And they put everything in the wrong places in the kitchen, and I couldn't find it. And I just had to let it go. I just
Yeah.
let it go, and I was just so grateful for all their help.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was a big lesson of letting go.
It's a huge thing, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I had 4 kids, 4 young kids, and I just had to let the clean, keeping everything, being Mrs. Primmy Perfect, like let that shit go. I was going into a mental asylum. It's like 4 kids under 4. It was like, man,
Oh,
full on. It was full on. And I had to let it go. And I looked like, shocking for years, but that's just how it was, I had to let go of the perfection, because at the end of the day, it didn't matter. So where have you stepped up?
well, I've stepped up, really stepped up into learning to know my boundaries, of learning to know that I'm an amazing coach. I'm not saying that from a place of being a big-headed person.
Oh,
I'm
no.
just
Yeah, you are.
saying that I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah.
And people get amazing results, providing they're willing to do the work. I mean, you can take a horse to water and you can't make it drink. And you can do all this work on someone. And one of the reasons I did nutrition medicine was because I realized that all the healing work that I did with people, unless they had the nutrition, it wouldn't last.
Mm.
They didn't have the minerals, they didn't have the biochemical connections, they didn't have all those
Gut
things
health. Mm.
that they needed for it to stay. And so that was like a real eye-opener when I got that realization. And then it's like, well, everything's just grown one on top of the other to realize that, we're energetic, we're electrical beings. We have all this DNA, we have our telomeres, we have junk DNA, which they don't know. We know that there's a lot of information in there, but it's the mainstream doesn't really know. And, once we start to step into that work, life is just phenomenal. And it's like you live in your own universe and you don't have to worry about what shit's going on around you.
Yeah. You just let that go, right? Wow. So, I mean, we've touched on you just being more, and just part of you just being more is just you know, playing in that universe and just turning off from the rest of the world, or just trusting as well? That came up earlier, just trusting and believing in yourself, right? As with part of the journey.
It is learning to trust, and all that's part of loving yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
If you have that security and that resilience and that strength, then you can cope with so many different things. And one of the things my company's called Inner Strength, because I think it's that inner strength that we have that allows us to manage life. And if we're willing to look at our shadows and sit in our shadows and look at, well, you know, this is my fallback position. I'm going to fall back into that.
Yeah, your shadow side, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my shadow side.
We've both got two sides, duality.
Yeah, and I love my shadow side because it's there to protect me as well. When we start to step into all those different zones of us, all those little sub-personalities and aspects.
I know. Oh my God, we've all got so many of them. Oh my gosh, absolutely. So at the end of the day, what's the thing that gets you out of bed? What drives you? What's your passion? What is it that inside that just gets you?
What drives me is knowing that I can be of service and get paid for it.
Fantastic, because you can't help the poor if you're going to be poor yourself, right? So
I realized that I was a charity and I couldn't afford to pay for my own food, but I was helping everyone else. And when I realized that, and when one of my mentors said to me, you've got to realize that how you value yourself is how much you get paid.
Exactly. I was on a podcast this week on exactly that, right? So how your self-value is direct correlation with your finances, right? It's value, it's wealth, right? So
I had to laugh at that. And the other side of that is you want to be available for as many people as possible. And what my mentor also said, unless you're financially viable yourself, there's no way that you can assist anyone else, because all you're doing is recreating that whole struggle, scarcity, survival cycle. And you've got to step out of that. And I've seen it with other clients and other coaches, that they just want to serve all these people that have got no money, but they've got no money, and these people don't value the coaching. So nothing happens. But when they shift out of that structure into a structure, okay, well, I want to have clients that can afford to pay me,
then they appear. It's amazing.
They appear and they have money, and then they can volunteer and do other stuff on the side.
Absolutely. I've done that journey myself, and
so have I.
It's incredible. I mean, because we're empowered empaths. We're empowered now, but when you're fully blown empath, you're the people pleaser and the doormat, and you're just wanting to help, and that's just our nature and whatever. But at the end of the day, we get worn out, we get tired, resentful, and overwhelmed, and all that sort of stuff. And once that light bulb comes on, put up some boundaries, and and just step up into the driver's seat. And you really, once you're an empowered empath, you're working, like you say, you're working, getting paid, you're being valued, everything is directly correlated, and the universe just rewards you. So, beautiful, Julie. So we're kind of winding up now. So let's, where can people reach you, and also to get your app?
They can get my app on Apple or Google, and they can just go to the website with TTS/normal ...
I'll put it in
creators
.passion.
Yeah,
because
and there's a QR code as well that will come up that they can go off.
What's over with your technology, lady? But the internet's just
something's happened here.
Internet's just going. It's probably winding down. So okay, I'll put all of that in the in the description here. So consciouscreators.passion.io, and there's a QR code. So that's to get the Conscious Creators app, and also consciouscreators.coach.
Yeah.
And or info@naturallyhealthy.com.au is your email. Is that right?
Is my best email address that comes to me.
Yeah.
The joys of having so many different jobs, not jobs, but
I know. I had to restructure and put everything under my name because I had so many different businesses. So now I'm Sally Estlin, Self-Empowered Lifestyles, with coaching, so clothing, conversations, clearings, and community, and putting it all under, because it's, we've got our finger in so many pies, but we've got a massive toolbox from our journeys, right? So we've acquired so many skills.
And that's really what the best part is, because you can assess people and know what they need.
Yeah.
And what you can't offer them.
Yeah,
you can refer off to other people. And
absolutely. Collaboration, it's the way of the future. Absolutely. Well, Julie Wood, thank you so much for being a guest on Magic Moments. Absolutely enjoyed our conversation. It's just, you're such a quiet achiever. Like, your life, seriously, write a book or do a movie or something, because you're such an inspiration to people. It's just, everything is a choice, how we choose to perceive our experiences, in a negative or a positive way. And there's a silver lining out of everything. And I love how you never fell into that victim mode. It was just, you were just going through that moment. And, as you said, when you help people clear it, it's just a fact now. It doesn't make who they are as part of the person. Let that go. So yeah, thank you.
Totally. I love it. Thanks so much, Sally. I've loved every minute. Thank you.
Okay. I'll see you back in trading sometime. Okay. See you. Bye.
Bye.